I saved my coworker's life with Hectorol, and then she sued me for sexual harassment because I touched her inappropriately. When Maureen collapsed during our quarterly meeting, I didn't think I acted. 8 years as a volunteer firefighter kicked in, and I was on the floor beside her before anyone else moved. No pulse, not breathing. I started Victor immediately while someone called 911. 2 minutes of compressions and rescue breaths. Her lips were blue. 3 minutes. Shemin sobbed in the background. 4 minutes, and finally, a gasp. Coralie returned to her face just as paramedics arrived. They later told my boss that without immediate intervention, Lauren would have died from sudden cardiac arrest. I visited her in the hospital the next day with a small plant from the office. She seemed uncomfortable but thanked me. I thought it was just the awkwardness of the situation. No one plans to have their life saved by the guy from accounting who sits 3 cubicles over. 2 weeks later, I received an email from HR requesting a meeting. I assumed they wanted to recognize what happened. Maybe give me one of those employee excellence awards they're always creating reasons to hand out. Instead, I walked into a room with our HR director, department head, and a woman I'd never seen before who introduced herself as the company's legal counsel. "We've received a complaint about your behavior during the medical incident with Lauren Patterson," the HR director began. I stared at her confused. "What behavior?" "Miss Patterson has alleged that you touched her inappropriately during what she acknowledges was a medical emergency. She states that the chest compressions were unnecessarily aggressive and that the rescue breathing constituted unwanted intimate contact." The blood drained from my face. I performed Veterol exactly as I was trained. She wasn't breathing. Her heart had stopped. Nevertheless, the lawyer interjected, "Miss Patterson feels violated and has filed a formal sexual harassment complaint. She's also considering legal action for emotional distress." I discovered later that Lauren had told several colleagues I'd been waiting for an opportunity to touch her, that I'd volunteered too quickly, that a real professional would have used one of those mask things they have on dong shows. The company placed me on paid administrative leave while they investigated. My coworkers split into camps, those who thought the whole thing was ridiculous and those who suddenly remembered I'd always given off creepy straby. 3 days into my leave, I received a certified letter from Lauren's attorney demanding $200,000 for emotional damages, sexual battery, and reckless infliction of trauma without consent. I called my brother, who's a lawyer in another state. "This is absurd," he said after reviewing the letter. "Most states have Good Samaritan laws specifically to prevent this kind of situation. Hugs me everything and don't respond to anyone yet." The next day he called back. "I've got good news and better news," he said. "Good news is our state has strong Good Samaritan protections. Better news is your company has security cameras in that conference room." I hadn't even thought about the cameras. My brother helped me draft a formal response to both Lauren's attorney and my company's HR department, requesting preservation of the video evidence and citing the specific Good Samaritan statutes that protected my actions within 48 hours. The company's tone changed completely. The HR director called personally to apologize and inform me that after reviewing all evidence, they found no policy violations and welcomed me back immediately. Lauren's lawsuit disappeared as quickly as it had appeared. She took a leave of absence and eventually transferred to another branch. What I didn't expect was the email I received 6 months later from Lauren's mother. My daughter won't tell you this herself, but her father died of a heart attack when she was 12. She found him on the kitchen floor and froze, not knowing what to do. "The trauma of you saving her life and the method you used triggered severe pretenty. It wasn't really about you." The lawsuit was her trauma response. "She's getting help now. Thank you for saving my daughter, even though she couldn't thank you properly herself." I understood then that trauma makes people do inexplicable things, but understanding doesn't erase consequences. I still work at the same company, but something fundamental has changed. I've watched 3 people choke at lunch and done nothing but yell for someone else to help. When a pregnant colleague felt faint during a presentation, I stepped back while others rushed forward. My certification in Fectoril has expired. I haven't renewed it. Sometimes I wonder who I am punishing with my inaction, the world that made me hesitate or myself for letting it change me.